On today's episode of So This Happened, we are going to be talking about our social media and of course other news that made a buzz recently. As usual, it's always a pleasure being your host on this show. On that note, welcome to the show. Guys, do you remember the social media regulation bill? Yeah, that one. So due to the NSAS protest that rocked the country, the bill has resurfaced again. Recall that it was initially tagged Frivolous Petitions Prohibition Bill 2015 and was introduced during the 8th National Assembly, but was met with heated protest then. Now, the Northern governors came up to say they were in support of the bill. They even condemned the subversive actions of some NSAS protesters, adding that some people took advantage of the peaceful protest to push their separative agenda. Some of the provisions of this bill includes a 3-year jail term or 300,000 fine, allowing law enforcement agencies shut down the internet at will, and a 10 million naira fine on internet providers who do not comply. Is this really for the good of Nigerians, or just the means to actually shut us up forever? I wonder how this bill would affect the price of onions in the market. Since you are telling me that with all the problems in this country, this is your major concern. Well, I am watching you. However, this is how some Nigerians reacted.
At Obina Okori 1 says, "No retreat, no surrender. You have taken everything from us, but we can't allow you take our voice. Hashtag say no to social media bill." At Serap Nigeria says, "We'll sue the Northern Governors Forum and National Assembly if any social media bill is passed and signed by President Buhari. Nigerians have a right to freedom of expression online. We won't accept any illegal attempts to interfere with that right. We say no to social media bill." At Oye 440 says, "In case you don't know, the penalty for breaking the social media law, if the bill is passed, includes 300,000 fine, 3 years imprisonment for individuals, and 100 million naira for corporate organizations. That's the price we are all going to pay if we don't hashtag say no to social media bill."
In what seemed like a scene from a movie set, a man who has been dead for 1 whole year was found breathing. This strange thing happened in Oneyearold, Imo State. Some people in the crowd could be heard saying, "He's breathing, he's breathing." Watch the video.
Live,
How creepy is that? Speaking on the breathing corpse, an unidentified man from the crowd said the man's corpse was exhumed because the land he was buried in is someone else's land. In his words, he was buried in a land that is not his own, so his spirit cannot rest because the land he was buried in was not his. Some wonderful stuff. Now, the shocking thing is that the casket housing the corpse has already been eaten by insects. However, the man's body was still intact and has shown no sign of decay. Is this an African magic series? Because this is something else. How can a corpse be breathing? Moving on. As a little child, I believed in fairy tales, but while growing up, I realized they were just tales. Surprisingly, the same cannot be said of Dr. Lee Khan. So this Indian doctor had met with a trickster who showed him a lamp and persuaded him that a genie which could grant all his wishes was in that lamp. Aladdin. Now, this is where the story begins. Mr. Lee Khan had met 2 men while treating a woman he thought was their mom. These men then told him about a Baba priest, whom they claimed also visited their home. They convinced and persuaded him to meet this Baba. The doctor agreed now. What's the worst that can happen, I'm sure he thought. So he met with the priest and trust them. They acted film for him. You know what they say now? Seeing is believing. You already know what happened next. Yes, a genie appeared and voila, Uncle believed straight up. They even convinced him that the lamp would bring him good health, wealth, and great fortune. Now you can tell how impressed he must have been that he quickly paid 7 million rupees for the lamp. Now, here's where the story gets funny. Drama started when he got home and he did abracadabra or whatever he said, and Genie refused to come out. I'm sure he made several attempts and then it dawned on him that, Wakpada gets me. In other words, it became clear that he had become a victim of an audacious scam and he immediately contacted the police. The good news is that the police have arrested the two men and they're in custody. Genie in a lamp. Wala be like bicycle. As we wrap up today's episode of So This Happened, don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, and comment on all our stories. Till next time, my name is Margaret Osazor. Many thanks for watching.